Skip, boss of YouTube. How's it going, everybody? Got for you guys today another Wi-Fi battle, and I had this battle with Mulvone, actually, much like Nappy IRL while we were at PAX. And it actually turned out to be a pretty good battle and really came down to the wire. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And I want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who welcomed me back on my previous Wi-Fi battle. It was really great seeing the support that you guys showed the video. So thank you to everybody. And much like that battle, guys, if we can get this up to 400 likes, that would be absolutely amazing. So if you enjoy, make sure to hit that like button. And actually, I want to ask you guys something. This is not like a question of the day thing. I'm not going to be doing this from now on. These just kind of randomly happen from time to time. But what tier would you like me to play like on Wi-Fi? Because I like to play every tier, but normally I kind of stick to one tier and then kind of move on. So if you guys would like to see me play any specific tier, let me know in the comment section below. Or would you like me to just kind of mix it up, like upload an RU, then a UU, then a Ubers, then OU, then kind of restart from there, or like stick with one tier for a couple of battles, then switch it up. So just leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys would like to see, or if you don't really care, you just enjoy what I upload, which if it's in that case scenario, then thank you. Anyways, looking at team preview, this is obviously an OU battle. Now, going into this battle, one of the biggest threats I saw on Mulvone's side of the field was actually going to be that Mawile, just because I know how powerful Mega Mawile can be, so I really have to watch out for that. So I'm going to be leading off with my Latios, thinking that Mulvone would actually end up leading off with his Rotom, which is exactly what happens. I'm going to go straight for the Dragon Pulse, and while we were actually having this battle, I told him, I was like, I was very close to going for the Roost, thinking that he would outspeed me. Thankfully, though, I caught myself, and I'm able to get off a respectable amount of damage on the Rotom as he switches into his Latios. I'm thinking, okay, he's just gonna go for the Draco. I can bring in my Scizor, Mega Evolve, U-turn as he switches out. Right? No, he makes an excellent prediction, predicts my Scizor switching, goes for the Hidden Power Ice, and Scizor just dies, which actually really sucks because Scizor would have been a really huge help in this battle. But seeing that he didn't take Life Orb Recall, I'm thinking, okay, I can bring in my Tyranitar and knock him out with the Pursuit, right? Which is what I'm gonna do, as he does actually try to switch out. Now I can put this image right here. I have been wanting to use that image for forever. You guys have no idea. Unfortunately, though, I get a crit, but I highly doubt it mattered, just because he did switch out, which boosted the power of my Pursuit. So he's gonna bring in the Mawile, and I'm thinking, oh crap, he's gonna Swords Dance, and I'm gonna get swept by this thing in like the 5th turn of this battle. So I'm gonna stay in and just leave in my Tyranitar, just because nothing on my team wants to switch into an Iron Head or a possible Play Rough. Although yes, there was a chance he could Swords Dance. I knew that ultimately staying in would be my better play, because honestly, after he lost the Latios, I don't really need my Tyranitar, as he ends up going straight for the Play Rough. I bring in my Landorus, and here I make a really ballsy prediction. Knowing that the Earth Power is so painfully obvious, what I'm going to do is actually go for the Sludge Wave, predicting him to bring in the Rotom, and I managed to catch it on the switch in, which means next turn I will be able to go for another Sludge Wave. Although, I could have actually gone for the Focus Blast as opposed to the Sludge Wave, but if I did miss, he could have knocked me out with a Hydro Pump, as I went for a Sludge Wave and he still lived. So thankfully I did make the ballsy play up going for the Sludge Wave, as he brings in the Mandibuzz. This right here, oh my lord, I wanted to punch Mulvone in the face so badly. You guys have, like, you can honestly ask Mulvone. I was getting so salty because I believe I end up hitting 1 Focus Blast out of like 4. I actually get a crit on that one, which kind of makes up for the first miss, which is fine by me, because what I'm trying to do is just get off enough damage to the point where I can bring him down low enough so I can bring in my Specs Keldeo and knock him out with a Hydro Pump. Unfortunately, though, my Landorus is blind and cannot hit a Focus Blast. So ultimately, I decided just to go for the Stealth Rocks, because this way, due to the fact that he has a Volcarona, I put him in a position where he can either go for the roost and try to stall me out of Hydro Pumps and risk me critting him, or go straight for the defog, allowing me to 2 KO him, because I know that a Hydro Pump will not be a 1-hit KO on this Mandibuzz. Unfortunately for Mully though, I get a crit with the Hydro Pump, which in my opinion makes up for me missing the Focus Blast. Although I could have still hit all the Focus Blast, it just, hacks was in my favor in this turn basically, so there's no real need to get upset about it. As he brings in the Mawile, I was honestly surprised that Hydro Pump actually 1-hit KO'd Mawile. So he's going to bring in the Terrakion. I really don't want to risk him being Scarfed just because my Keldeo is actually Choice Spec, so I'm going to switch into my Latios, which what I thought was going to be Death Fodder because I thought he would go for the Stone Edge, predicting me to bring in my Latios, but no, he does make the safe and aggressive play by going for the close combat on the off chance that I did want to leave in my Keldeo, and his last Pokemon at this point is the Volcarona alongside the Terrakion, so I can honestly just safely go for the Psyshock and 2 KO Volcarona, but it turns out that he's more of an offensive variant as I'm actually able to one-shot him. At this point, his last Pokemon is the Terrakion, which if he goes for close combat, I live. If he goes for Stone Edge, I then bring in Keldeo and I win. So at this point, the battle is basically in my favor. So he's going to go for the close combat. I'm going to be able to easily take the hit and in return knock him out with the Psyshock, and that is going to be the victory in my favor. So yeah, that was definitely a fun close battle, although that Hydro Pump crit really definitely did matter. But as I said, he could have just played around with roosts until eventually he stalled me out, or I did crit him, or he could have gone for the defog for his Volcarona. But we can sit here and theory him on for a very long time. Either way though, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button, guys. As I said, if we can get this video up to 400 likes, that would be absolutely amazing, and hopefully you guys did enjoy it as I already said. If you missed any of my previous 2 uploads, which is actually one of my Wi-Fi battles, then by all means feel free to click the annotation on your screen right now to take you to a new tab or window, and you guys can go watch that. And with that, guys, enjoy the rest of your night and or day, and I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully, if not then the day after. So yeah, later everybody.